Hello, I'm Canbora. I'm the Senior Technical Officer here at Sydney College of the Arts in Ceramics Studio. In this video tutorial, I will show you how to work safely on the pottery wheel. Just a reminder, this video is not replacing your throwing on pottery wheel induction. As these PPE reminding signs tells here, you need to wear your fully enclosed shoes all the time. And also you need to wear an apron. It can be an apron, or it can be an overall, it can be a coverall, or you can just bring an old shirt or t-shirt while you're working on the pottery wheel. The reason is the clay get on your daily clothes and then it gets into your daily life. The best way to keep the clay hazard, dust hazard out of your living area, keep your work and daily clothes separate, and it's the best to wash them separately too. And as this one says, long hair must be contained, so obviously it doesn't mean that you need to wear a hairnet all the time. If you have long hair, you can tie them as a bun in the back. The reason is we're working with the pottery wheel, which is having spinning parts. So loose hair may be pulled and may leave skin damage. Or if you just tie as a ponytail and comes to your front, it might be just entangled or pulled, and it may end up with neck injuries. And on top of that, for the same reason, because we're working with the spinning machine, you need to remove all the loose jewelries on the neck, or scarf or ties, to keep yourself safe while you're working with the pottery wheel. It may be pulled again, and it may end up with either suffocation or neck injuries. To throw on the wheel, the materials and tools you will need is obviously clay, and all the tools coming in the beginner tool sets would just do your job. A small sponge and some basic modeling tools and cutting wire, most importantly. Bowl of water, and you can also use, depending on your need, how much you will throw or how big your work will be. You can use a small timber wear board, or you can use the large ones in this storage shelf, and you can just bring them back here to store them on this shelf once your job is over. Before start throwing on the wheel, you need to prepare your clay, which means you need to wedge them. Wedging means slice them into the correct size, and then kneading on the wedging bench and make it sure that it's even and all the air is popped out. So, as I said, there are two reasons to wedging the clay. One is removing the clay or air pockets from the clay, and the other one is make sure the moisture level is nice and even in every point. So to show you a little bit cleaner, I will mix these two different color of clay, and then we will see how they are getting blended instead of understanding with the feeling. So as you can see, this is a brand new clay, not used at all, and there is no air pockets in there because it is commercially made and de-aired. So it should be in this condition when you take it off from the bag, but still there might be some air pockets left in there, or some unevenness in the moisture level, one part to the clay to the other. So to eliminate or remove that risk completely, you need to wedge them. So I will put these two together and put another layer on this side and cut another one. So you can use this cutting wire on the wedging benches, or you can use a hand cutter, comes with your toolkit. And I will just put these ones here and remove these ones away. All right. So it's quite a physical work. In the beginning, you may feel quite exhausting. So the action is quite important, but also your position as well. I find it much more comfortable if I put my one foot forward and the other one supporting in the back, so I would be rocking back and forth instead of pushing all in the same position. it works much better on my back. Wedging process, what I actually do here, instead of smearing on the surface or rolling and making like a long sausage, or making a large slab and folding back again and making a dumpling and trapping air in between, I'm rocking the clay almost like 45-degree angle. It's rocking back and forth, and while I'm doing that, pulling the two little knobs on the side of the clay towards to myself. So by this way, it's folding in and out and another two directions inside. So it started to blend it from the outside, but let's see what's like in the inside. It's still quite saturated. So what this means, I need to just wedge more and more. Cutting between the wedging processes, it's a good idea to see whether any air also trapped inside of the clay. It looks like quite nice and no air pockets trapped in there. Let's see if it's in there. No air. Okay, keep on. Right, this is much better. Obviously, this is a bit too much for making a mid-sized ball. I will just go on with only Alright, now 2 balls of clays are ready. If any clay left here, just scrape them with the scraper and clean the surface with damp sponge. Yep, before you start, you need to adjust your height, and these tools are height adjustable, and the main reason is because it's quite a repetitive task. Even though your hands are working and the machine is spinning, your body is quite still and sitting in the same position. So it's really important to keep your natural curve of your spine. To help that, you need to position yourself where you feel comfortable and where you feel comfortable in terms of the height. It doesn't need to be too high, too tall, or too low. And once you feel like, yep, this is the good position, then you can start working. One other thing with these tools, if the handle is on your right hand side, it is the right angle, the correct way to sit it on. If it is the other way, or somewhere else, not on the left hand side, it may tip you back because it is angled in a certain way. It allows your body weight can be used as a tool as well. Alright, once all the PPE are worn, our clay is ready, bowl of water, and our tools are here, we need to do a few pre-operational safety checks, which is including checking the lead, power lead of the equipment is not damaged, and the power connection is properly connected, and also having the slurry bucket around, and then we can start working. Before turning the wheel on, don't step on the pedal, because it's working on a cradle system, so the motor will be damaged if it is not running when you step on the pedal. These Australian Vanco brand wheels, they don't have on and off switches, so we need to turn it on and off from the power point switches. They are under the bench. They are sometimes hard to reach. They're either on your right or left hand side, depends which side of the bench you're sitting. When you turn it on, you will start hearing a motor noise. When you step on the pedal, if it's not making a metal scratch noise, then it means it's working fine. Make sure that your slurry collection bucket is positioned properly and the hose from the tray is reaching inside. And before you start, it's always a good idea to check whether you have anything in the bucket. If it is more than halfway full, it is the best idea to empty it in the collection bin under the sink or near the sink. so it's not going to overflow while you're working. And make sure that the discharge hole or the hose on the left hand side of this tub is not clogged, so it's not going to overflow in the tub and it's not going to slip inside of the machinery of the equipment. Then once all good on the wheel, if it is not making any scratch noise, if it is working properly, lead is not damaged, you can just start. If any of these ones are not working properly, if it shows any of these problems, come and find me or the other technical stuff and let us know. Don't use or don't try to fix the machine. Move on to the next available one if it is available. All right. Once everything is ready, your position is correct, you'll get your clay on the wheel. Also before start, it's not a safety requirement, but it's a recommendation for cleaning. Instead of keeping all your jewelry or your watch on your hand or on your wrists, it's better to take them and keep them somewhere safe. Don't leave them on the bench, put it in your pockets or in your bags, so you're not going to forget them here. All right, once I'm sitting on the comfortable position and quite close to the wheel, I will just aim the clay ball right to the center. So it's going to stick well, so it's not going to come off while it's spinning. If it is a little bit off from the center of the wheel head, it's not a big problem, but if it is quite off, then you probably need to pull it and then try to hit it and place it back again into the correct position. Now I will turn the machine on. So first I will center the clay and then pull it up, push it down. I will do that one twice. The reason is to blend all the clay, just like wedging on the wedging bench, to make sure that it's all spinning in the same way, so you're not only working on the outside of the clay ball. So once I pull it up and pushing it down for twice, now I've made it more or less like a dome-like shape. Up to this point, I will push 1 or 2 thumbs depending on the size of the clay that I have here or the cavity that I want to open it. So I will create the void in the center. Right. Okay, once your work is over, you can just use your cutting wire to cut and separate it from the wheel head. And in some cases you may need to wait a little while that you can grab it from the bottom, but I intentionally made the bottom quite thick and chunky so I can push it and remove it and lift it easily. I'll place it on there. So now my throwing exercise is over. What I need to do is start the cleaning. I will take the clay off from the wheel head first and turn the machine off. While I'm not using, I don't need to leave it on, so keep it in mind. If you are not working, it is best to turn the motor off to let it rest. Right, here at this stage I have a bit of water and slurry collected in the bowl, and I have a bit of more clay bits collected here. So I will clay most of the stuff I will find underneath the wheel head and the tub. Instead of pushing straight to the hole and clogging the hose, I'm collecting most of the clay bits. After you finished your job on the pottery wheel, you bring all your tools to clean and decant all the slurry collected in the bowl. To make sure that you don't forget any of your sponge or your tools inside of the bowl, and decant them in the large collection bin. We usually keep it either near the sink or right underneath the sink. And then shut it down a little bit there. To clean all your tools in your bowl, do it inside of the tub. We keep it inside of the sink, and by this way, most of the large particles, they're not going to clog the pipes of the sinks. Even though we have particle traps underneath, still clay may actually damage the pipes. You can use these large cleaning sponges. We keep it here on the shelves. Instead of using your little yellow sponges, they are for throwing. They are more for little detailed jobs instead of cleaning and damaging them. You can leave your bowl here and clean all your tools. Before start to clean, it's a good idea to keep your work safe, so take it away and store them on these shelves. And then get your wet sponge. You can start from the top of the wheel. You don't need a lot of water. So your work area includes your wheel head, the tub, inside and outside the tub. If you touch the outside, don't forget to clean outside of the tub as well. And definitely the workbench here. Using a weighboard helps you to prevent lots of cleaning. And also it's a good idea to use the weighboards to not to stick your clay or your work straight to the bench. Inside and out, it's all clean. And the last thing, check your slop bucket. If it's collecting a lot of clay and water, you just need to return and empty it in the slop collection bin. Right now I didn't really collect it much, so I will just return it properly right inside of it. And cleaning is mostly done. And now I will go back to the sink. Very nice tip, if you come here with your clay hands, use these large sponges to turn on and off water on the knobs, so you don't need to come back and clean all the tap area. And once your job is done, you just leave your sponge out there and take your tools with you after this area is cleaned as well. Thanks for watching the tutorial on how to work safely on the pottery wheel. See you on the next videos.